About to kick off for your Rochester Rhinos.
And Joe, I tell you, this is interesting. I've never seen two teams with their nicknames, the animals that represent their team, the Red Bulls and the Rhinos, each have their Red Bull and a Rhino on their jersey. It's really cool.
Who will be the stronger one today? We shall see as Obasi clears one over to the far side, headed down and push forward through the center circle. As the one-time clearance blocked off the hand of Rolf, as Red Bulls will pick up a free kick just inside their own half. Andrew Jean-Baptiste, the 22-year-old, wearing the captain's armband.
It's my namesake.
There you go. Red Bull coming off a midweek game, 1-0 loss against the Richmond Kickers. Ownby with a PK goal for the Kickers in the 50th minute to give the still undefeated Kickers that win.
Put them at top of the Eastern Conference with that win, and they won last night 1-0 against Montreal, FC Montreal. Former Rhino Matthew Delicott with the only goal.
Still finding a way to score, the veteran, the ageless wonder. Here's Castano wearing the red with the blue shorts, drives one forward with the left foot. Flicked on into space looking for Bedoya, but cleared away by Ringoff. Good crowd still making their way in here to Salem Stadium. It's the home opener in 2015. Plua. Sanchez. Now McLaws. Back to Jean-Baptiste. Red Bulls working this near side, deflected off the head of Sonis, and Brandon Miller, the 25-year-old, didn't play in any games last season.
The longest-serving Rochester Rhino, 4th year with the team. He finally gets his chance to be a starter after Christian Niche behind him for a couple years, who's now with the Indy 11 in the NASL. And John McCarthy last year, the USO Rookie of the Year, now starting for his hometown Philadelphia Union in Major League Soccer.
How about that story? He has done a wonderful job, and we wish him nothing but the best in MLS. This one is last touched by Mendoza.
Something to watch with Brandon Miller. He actually has a dislocated right ring finger. Goalies are tough. He's playing through it. We'll see if that has any impact on his play today.
Foul called as Sonis goes down. McLaws will take the restart. Very good outside back, likes to push forward. And drives one over to the far side, and that'll carry through the field of play. And a goal kick coming up for the Rhinos, coming off a 1-0 win in St. Louis last Saturday. Rolf with the goal in the 78th minute. And I guess the big theme of that Louisville-St. Louis road trip was the depth that came off the bench. Bob Lilly really happy with what the spark that the depth players brought.
He brought a lot of bodies and got a lot of people starting. And was Rolf off the bench in that game, so he had started the game against Louisville, hometown of his former college, Louisville. Also see on that goal kick, there's a stiff breeze right in the face of Brandon Miller. Let's see how that impacts play here in the first half.
A little cool. I think you were looking at the temperature, 50 degrees at kickoff?
50 degrees, about a 10-mile-an-hour wind. Rhinos going into the wind in the first half.
Here's Forbes. Worked the indoor game so well with Syracuse, and a good acquisition for the Rhinos. Gets it back to Obasi. Now Rolf off the chest. Back to Forbes, who's working the near side now. Good ball into space. Dixon turning on the Jets, but DeFont will get there first.
Dixon playing up top in the game today. In previous games, he's played out wide right, or actually wide left, using his tremendous speed like Forbes does usually on the right side, but today he's starting on the left. So a little change up there from Coach Bob Lilly.
Throwing here on the near side for Obasi. We're in the 5th minute. And scoreless.
Speaking of left-sided player, Obasi loves to get down that left side. Very talented with his feet. Great offensive overlapping back.
That's going to be a good matchup. You got Obasi coming down the left for Rochester out of the back, and McLaws, who can do the same, coming down the right for the Red Bulls. So we'll see how those overlapping defenders have an impact on the game today as McLaws has possession now. Back to Jean-Baptiste, former number 8 overall draft pick in 2012 by the Portland Timbers.
That's a great ball from him, switching play all the way to that left side.
Plua gets possession, center of the field for Red Bull.
Big guy, 6'3" in that midfield, has great vision, native of Poland.
DeFont. And that'll run out of play on the far side. Throw coming up for McMahon, who's made his home on that right side of the Rhinos defense, and off to another great start. Only 2 goals against for Rochester coming into this one. In 5 games played, Dixon crosses the midfield stripe, runs into the big wall of Jean-Baptiste, and the visitors will take possession with McLaws.
Game starting much differently than the first time around when these two teams played at Red Bull Arena.
And you were there for that one.
I was there for that one. What a beautiful facility. And Red Bull's a class act, great franchise. But Rhinos totally dominated the first 30 minutes of that game, and it was only Santiago Castano who kept them off the board. Then the game changed at the half-hour mark when the Red Bulls got a penalty. It was saved, though, by Brandon Miller from the normal captain, Leo Stoltz, who is not with the team today.
A lot of changes in this lineup for Red Bull as we had an initial roster set, but then again, as they're serving a minor league role to feed the big boys, there's going to be constant changes throughout the season. And speaking of the big boys, they've got a big one today. We'll be rush home after this one, 5 p.m. on ESPN2. Red Bulls take on the defending champions, LA Galaxy.
Featuring assistant coach Dave Sarakin from right here in Rochester, New York. We're very proud of Dave and all he's done with the Galaxy, and that's a great rivalry between those two teams.
Red Bull still undefeated in MLS after the 2-0 win against San Jose last weekend. As Bassi coming off an indoor season with the Baltimore Blast. Huge success for him indoors and outdoors. Forbes off the back of Dixon, and DeFont will win a throw-in here for the Red Bulls.
And Forbes is no stranger to the outdoor game. He played for many seasons with Waterhouse FC out of Jamaica, where he's from. He also played in the CONCACAF Champions League for Waterhouse, took on DC United. So he can play outdoors as well as indoors.
8 minutes in, Andrew. A lot of possession from the visitors so far.
Not surprising, and with the wind advantage, the Rhinos will probably try to hold their line in the first half, and then the second half, which has been their trademark this season, is when they turn things on. They've scored 5 of their 7 goals in the second half, and they'll have the win in that second half.
Quick little spin, and coming onto the near side, McLaws, the 22-year-old, that at Coastal Carolina University.
You know what their nickname is, right?
Give it to me.
The Chanticleers.
I like it. Outside
it's a
now.
bird, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't sure. I thought it was a boat. Loose ball picked up by Metzger, just coming off his duty with the U.S. under-23 teams midweek. McLaws, a good cross, and it sails up and over the Rhinos' goal. Metzger played in that game against Mexico on Wednesday night. USA 3-0 domination in that one as they prepare for the Rio 2016 Summer Olympics.
I'm sure Metzger would love to be on that national team if the United States can make the World Cup, or the Olympics in Rio in 2016. They're going to actually play in that jungle venue where the U.S. played Portugal in the World Cup. I don't know why they're doing that. It's like 1,500 miles from Rio.
1,500 miles from anywhere.
Yeah, really.
Pushed into the middle, and DeFont backpedals to break it up for New York. McLaws looking to go forward, and nicely poked away by Apostolopoulos. Vasilis Apostolopoulos. I tell you, I spoke with him before the game. He is a younger version of Georgios Kyriatsis.
He's a guy who also has experience in the Greek First Division from Kolargos, Greece, which is just outside of Athens.
Good acquisition and brings some stability to that center back position.
As he stepped in today for him and Julian Ringoff, they stepped in for Grant Van de Castile, who was out injured today, member of the USL Pro Team of the Week. The Notre Dame graduate, not in the lineup today.
There's Walls, his first touch. And we're 10 minutes in. The team captain, Tony Walls, just signed a contract extension through 2016. Camping out in the middle of the field. There he goes to put some pressure on Etienne, and he's dumped, and the Rhinos come away with it.
Etienne, the academy player, just 18 years of age. He'll be going to the University of Virginia in the fall, and they're very happy to have him. He's a top talent, played for the Haitian under-20 national team. His father and uncle both played for Haiti.
Continues in the fine tradition of the Etienne family. As the quick restart taken on the far side, 11 minutes in and scoreless, the 2015 home opener for the Rochester Rhinos.
This is so far typical of home openers. Rhinos have not given up more than one goal in a home opener in about 7-8 years, but they haven't scored more than one goal either. But lately they've done better in home openers in the most recent years. But overall, 7 wins and 6 losses and 6 draws in their 19 home openers.
This team this year especially seems very athletic, very versatile, and showing from those first 5 games that they could be a force to be reckoned with throughout the year.
Got some good young talent on this team and some good veterans to mix in. A lot of changes from last year as we go through the broadcast and our subsequent broadcast. We'll tell you about where some of the former Rhinos have ended up from last year's team. Probably, we don't know, most notably John McCarthy, now the starter for Philadelphia Union, and we are very, very proud of him. They had a rough time of it though in the last game against. They lost 4-1 in their most previous encounter.
When he was here, though, you knew he was just on the verge of making that jump, and I think the season here in the USL Pro was a big boost for his career, and again, we're very happy for Mr. McCarthy. Still possession by the visitors from New York. It's Sanchez knocked off the ball. Apostolopoulos sent forward looking for Rolf. Turns, can't get there before Defant can knock it out of play, the 24-year-old. One of the veteran players for this team.
Not too many of them. They're mostly young guys. Defant is one of the exceptions. But again, some of the more experienced players from the Red Bulls first team are not with the team today, like Leo Stoltz, Antolia Bang, Connor Lade is not here. So it's good for the Rhinos. They're not playing the team that played in the last game against the Richmond Kickers, which they lost 1-0.
Laws trying to find a few more steps. Referee Brandon Artis says, no, let's hold it there. And now coming forward is Plua.
And one of the things with Coach John Wolonek, it's tough. He's already played 30 different players in 5 games, and that's just very difficult for continuity.
Yes, I agree.
And you have to have that as in this great sport we love. But these are young guys, they adapt, and you're going to look for guys like Dan Metzger and Andrew Jean-Baptiste and Sean McLaws, the more experienced players to help the academy guys who are out there.
And this is going to fill that gap between the Red Bulls Academy and the senior team. There's fouls called.
Defant took a little headbutt there from Colin Rolfe, and he will
get some assistance.
Yes, he will.
There's a look at the last contact between Rolfe and Defant.
Let's see it here on the replay. Bam. A little cocoa butt there from Colin Rolfe. Unintentional, of course.
Instead of getting the ball, Defant got a piece of Rolfe's head. Rolfe with a goal this season. The 25-year-old had 2 goals, 2 assists last season in 26 games played. Defant still slow to get up.
I always want to take a long, hard look at any blow to the head. We've learned that in this past number of years in soccer, where anytime there's a shot to the head, you got to be very careful, check for concussion. And so the Red Bulls training staff out there looking at Mike Defant. 4 games played this year, 3 starts. Went to Longwood, Rio Grande, played for the Westchester Flames, and a couple seasons in Portugal playing in the lower divisions. And now back here with the Red Bulls.
And while we have a break, have you visited the new USLsoccer.com? Get the latest news and live stats, and check out the new social media hub. That's all at USLsoccer.com.
Looking at it right now, USL, we are united, and right on the front of the page is Tony Walls, the Rhinos captain.
And looking at Defant, who's made his way over to the bench, he's got a busted lip. It's his lower lip that's being looked at. As Red Bull will play with 10 until Defant can return to the field.
And they only have 1 defender as a substitute, the youngster from Nigeria, Bolu Akinyode.
Chance now for Rolfe to spring forward. His cross blocked in. Corner kick number 1 coming up here for the Rhinos in their home opener. It'll be Canardo Forbes over to take it. And the big boys coming up, Obasi, Apostolopoulos, And you were talking about Ringoff on these set pieces.
Watch number 22, Julian Ringoff. This guy can sky, a tremendous athlete. He's at the edge of the area right now. He'll look to get on the end of this corner from Forbes.
16th minute, corner kick far side, swerving out. Obasi heads it down into the turf and cleared away as DeFont will take off his jersey, put on a new one, the bloodstained jersey. Put away for the game today. Obasi, his first push forward, and it's a little awkward challenge there for Obasi, along with James Thomas.
It could have gone either way. It could have been called obstruction. You don't see obstruction called very often anymore in the modern game.
There's a look at it.
You sort of ran right up the back of Thomas.
So for those of you watching on YouTube, DeFont is trying to come out of the field, but there's no number on his jersey. Fourth official notices that now, and they're going to have to try and pick up another jersey for him that has a number. His 44 jersey has got blood stains on it, so he cannot come on without a number, the referee says, and he sends him back off.
Well, Rhinos look to take advantage of this with one of the defenders now off the field.
Now DeFont's making his way back to the midfield stripe and
basically saying, hey, we don't have a jersey with a number on it.
I think Bob Lilly's saying, just let it go, let him play.
John Wolenek is not happy with the fourth official right now.
Dixon into the box. Forbes leaves it, McMahon shot. Good save there by Castano, and another corner kick coming up for the Rhinos.
Great opportunity there for the Rhinos. Misplayed in the box again. One man short, and that nearly cost the Red Bulls there. But Castano, who was huge in that first 30 minutes of the first game against these two clubs. There's the miscue in the back. Leaves McMahon with the right foot. He doesn't get forward often, but McMahon nearly got one there.
Low driven ball. Rolfe runs out of space. Goal kick coming up for New York, and DeFont has been allowed to come out of the field. He is wearing the jersey with no number, so number 44, now no number, as he had blood after the collision with Colin Rolfe. First time I've ever seen that in several years of covering soccer.
Well, it's something you don't expect.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure if this was in MLS, they'd have an extra number 44 available.
And I'm sure moving forward now, Red Bull 2 will make sure there's an extra jersey in the bag as McMahon sprints down to head it back to Brandon Miller. 18th minute, scoreless.
Miller hasn't had much to do so far, which again was just like the first game, and then all of a sudden they got that penalty kick. And Stoltz, now to be honest, shot it pretty much right at Miller, but Miller made the save, and that was the key moment in the game. After that, the Red Bulls really picked things up and had much of the play in the second half, but neither team could find the back of the net in the first time around, 0-0.
There's Thomas. Far side looking for Etienne. He's immediately double teamed and forced to play that one out of bounds. Throw-in coming up for the Rhinos. They'll be in Montreal on May the 2nd. On May 3rd, it'll be Pittsburgh visiting Red Bull Arena, and the Riverhounds thrashing last night over Toronto FC 2, 5-1. And Toronto actually led that game 1-0.
And Toronto having a tough time of it because, again, they've had to play all their games on the road to start the season. They won't open at home until the 23rd against the Rochester Rhinos. An 8 p.m. kickoff immediately following the Reds taking on the Timbers in Major League Soccer at 5 p.m. So doubleheader at BMO Field. Get up there, Rhino fans. It's going to be a great chance to see your Rhinos at one of the premier stadiums and now expanded to 30,000 seats.
Just there over the winter, saw the process, and it looks fantastic. Road trip for Mr. Battisti?
Absolutely. Never miss a chance to see a game at BMO Field. One of the best sets of fans there are, all the great Toronto FC fans. And great to see Toronto back in the same league as the Rhinos. Makes you a reminder of the Lancers days.
Good ball, top of the 18, and Sonis just couldn't get a touch on it.
Wow, he want that
he
one
was
back.
in.
He just needed to keep that ball under control, and it was 1-0 Red Bulls, but could not get his right foot on it, and let off there for the Rhinos.
And don't forget, become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. Check out USL on Facebook.
And big hand to all the USL people with their social media. They've done a great job at updating their website. definitely keep things happening on the Facebook side, the Twitter side. If you want to do a hashtag, it's hashtag ROCVNY if you want to talk about today's game.
Thomas working the far side against McMahon. Double team help comes from Forbes, and throw in coming up for the Red Bull, who are 0-1 away from home, 1-2-1 at Red Bull Arena.
That one tie, though, was against the Charleston Battery at Blackbaud. So
difficult.
definitely, these guys can play. There's no doubt about it. It just depends, again, who do they put out there to play against.
Forbes looking, long ball. Mendoza takes it down. Jean-Baptiste marking Mendoza. He'll spin away from pressure. Lay it off to Forbes. McLaws will head that away from Alex Dixon. Walls gets the header on it, knocks it forward, and Red Bull's under some pressure here. Forbes continuing to apply pressure. McMahon helping out on the far side. Ringoff. Rudy. Back to Ringoff. 22nd minute. Scoreless.
They haven't called Tyler Rudy's name much in this first 22 minutes. The lone product from New England Revolution, graduate of Georgetown University.
There's Walls. Good shielding of the ball there. Keeping Metzger away from it, but a foul is going to be called anyways on Etienne, and Reynolds will have a free kick.
Tony Walls gets his feet on the ball. It's very hard to knock him off. Very strong, very solid build on the Rhinos captain, number 20. Playing in the midfield this year. Started the season last year in the back four, but now playing in the center of the midfield.
Mendoza. Obasi. There's that battle we talked about, Obasi and McLaws. Good ball. Rudy swerving into the box. Oh, Dixon couldn't get his head on it. And cleared by DeFont. Good service by Rudy. Off the hand, McLaws, and restart opportunity coming up here for the Rhinos. In a real good spot. Shot. Could be a hard service into the box. We'll see what the design play is. Sure.
And it's a great play by Obasi. You can see that John Wallneck knows about Obasi. He didn't play the first game, but he certainly knows Obasi. He had two guys on him, but Obasi slipped the double team and got the pass over. Got a very dangerous situation from Tyler Rudy.
Mendoza having a look as well.
Sometimes Walls isn't over this ball.
Yeah.
He likes to take those free kicks, but there's going to be some kind of service. Look for a runner in the box, try to get a head ball.
Here is Rudy. Driven. One hop into the arms of Castano. He'll slow things down. Castano making his fourth appearance of this season. Served his suspension against Charleston for the red card he picked up against the Wilmington Hammerhead, so he's back in action now.
That was a very interesting match between those two teams. Wilmington is the farm. We'll talk about this in just a second after this play.
Obasi steps there in front of Sanchez. Miller will clear it with the left foot. Plua. Metzger now. And a little too much hassle there from Walls and Dixon.
So we're saying that Wilmington Hammerheads are the affiliate of New York City FC, of course, the Derby rivals of the Red Bulls. And just before the match, New York City FC sent 7 players into the lineup, but I don't think anyone was expecting, and they won that game 3-0. And the Red Bulls were not too thrilled about that little gamesmanship from New York City FC.
I'm sure the first of many to come.
I can't wait for that first Derby match. It is going to be wild when those two clubs get together.
That is a definite road trip.
Just to see them play at Yankee Stadium, where, by the way, the first ever NASL match at Yankee Stadium was the Rochester Lancers against the Cosmos back in 1971.
Bringing back such good memories. The old NASL days, the legendary Cosmos, and the always popular Rochester Lancers.
A number of them are in attendance today, as there'll be some.
Yeah, we'll honor them at halftime.
That's right.
DeFont, the numberless jersey, out to James. Inside for Etienne. Can't keep possession. Rudy's long ball is going to have to force a big sprint here from Mendoza. Good little turnaround move from McLaws. Sonis crossed into the box for Etienne. Behind him, James for Metzger. Back to James inside the 18. The shot blocked by McMahon. 25th minute and scoreless. Follow at USL on Twitter to become a league insider. Join club conversations and have a chance at exclusive giveaways. There's a chance in the box now as Sanchez just beat to the ball by Miller.
Good play there by Miller, anticipating the cross. He's learned a lot in his 4 years playing under Christian Nisch, and of course also being coached by former Rhinos goalkeeper coach Scott Valor, was now the assistant coach of the Portland Thorns in the NWSL.
Bob Lilly with a new brain trust on the bench this season. Gavin McInerney, the goalkeeper coach, and Georgios Kiriatsis, the assistant coach, and that is a dynamic 1-2 punch that he's brought in to help out with the team this season.
Certainly, Georgios with 200 matches in Serie B in Italy. What a lot of experience. And Gavin McInerney also coached locally here from Royal Community College for a number of years. So Bob's got a great staff and a great team here. See what they can do against the Red Bulls today.
Not only great soccer minds, but great people as well. Gavin and George, two of the finest gentlemen you ever want to meet. Good people. As we are in the 27th minute, we're scoreless. The home opener for the Rochester Rhinos. The 20th season begins against New York Red Bulls 2. Nick Laws, he'll take a run forward. Obasi says enough of that, and he's called for the foul.
That's the third foul called on Obasi, and if I think he gets another one, we may see a booking, which would not be good for...
There's a look at that last challenge. What do you got here?
Let's see. McLaws has definitely got a lot of work down that right side. Maybe with the body a little bit, but looks like he got the ball first. I don't know about that call, but I'm not the referee. Mr. Artis is the referee, and what he says goes. So now the Red Bulls with a set-piece opportunity.
Etienne to take it. The 18-year-old, as Andrew mentioned. Two-man wall. Up and over the wall. Good ball into the box. Headed down in the turf and finally cleared away by the Rhinos.
Perfect free kick there from Etienne. Just nobody could get their head on it from the Red Bulls.
Castano, Nick Laws. Pops it up in the air. Bad first touch. Forces him just to knock it forward. Rudy can't keep possession. And it's Plua now to McLaws. Back to Plua. Deflected. Intercepted by the Rhinos' Dixon. Mendoza. Trying to force it down this near side. Not going to go. The Font will get there first. McLaws. Jean-Baptiste.
Another great
Yeah,
ball.
he does serve a good ball to that far side, doesn't he? Thomas. Plua. Here's McLaws again. Now he's coming forward. Good quick service. Apostolopoulos. Good chest pass to Obasi. Jean-Baptiste. 22 years old. He just looks so much older than that, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Big guy, though. It's 6'2", 205. Played with Chivas, played with the Portland Timbers. He's from Brooklyn, so his team's the Red Bulls.
Dixon is tripped up. And a restart coming up for the Rhinos in the 29th minute. And Rolf having a word with the official right at midfield. Bob Lilly calling him over.
Wonder if there might be some blood.
Can't tell from up here, but he's making his way over as Mendoza as well. Yeah, Rolf's got a bloody nose. Second incident with blood in this first half. It was the mouth of Defont earlier. Now Rolf got blood pouring from his nose. So Rhinos now playing with 10 players. There's Plua in New York. Try to mount to it. Late first half attack. That's going to swerve back into the box where Miller will have no trouble with that one at all.
Reynolds will just stick with their defensive shape. Again, not surprising. Again, playing into the stiff breeze. It's not easy. Can't really play with a long ball very well. Red Bulls have had most of the play, but really, again, nothing troubling Brandon Miller so far. As we move to the half-hour mark in this scoreless match here at Salem Stadium in Rochester, New York. Very happy you're here with us on the USL YouTube channels.
Bossy heads it to Forbes. Plays the quick 1-2 with Mendoza. Good ball now on the near side. Dixon, a little shove from behind on DeFont, and won't get the call, but took a quick look towards the official to see if anything was going to work his way. 2 other games today in USL. Wilmington hosting Charleston, and Vancouver taking on Seattle.
We got to start calling the old USL teams the original 6 or the original 7 or whatever number it is. I'll have to count up how many originals there are left.
Oh, a good ball for Sanchez. Just outside the 18. Low cross into the box. Cleared away by Ringoff.
And that ball just held up right in the wind there, right in front of the Rhinos 18.
Rolfe still tending to that bloody nose. Rochester playing a man down. Good step there. McMahon. Dixon now midfield with some space is Mendoza. Back to Tony Walls. There's Forbes. Bossy, but no one on the end of that one. Jean-Baptiste. Nick Laws, 32nd minute. Mendoza down to Tony Walls.
Practically everything from the Red Bulls is coming down that right side. The left side is pretty much wide open.
Here's Walls. Cutting inside. Forbes. Mendoza. Good bit of work here from the Rhinos. McMahon. Good ball outside. There's the service. Deflected out of play and a corner kick. There's a good build up there. Good bit of play from the Rhinos.
It's a good sequence there from the Rhinos. They kept the ball on the ground that time on the attack instead of looking for the high ball. And Mendoza with a nice ball outside. And the Rhinos now with a set piece opportunity again. They're very tough into this breeze. The ball is going to be an outswinger, which will help it. We'll see him again. Look for Julian Ringoff, number 22 at the edge of the box. Very dangerous with his head.
We'll see if Forbes can get this one up a little higher. There's the signal. The delivery. It's a high one into the box. Headed straight up in the air. Now to the 18 and headed away there by Sonis.
Forbes has to drive that ball a little more. Got too much air under it, and then the wind can really take it.
And we are going to have another player coming out of the field without a number on his jersey, as Colin Rolfe has blood on his number 9 shirt, so he'll be coming out numberless as well. Second time in the game. I guess there's a first for everything in soccer.
There is. There's a great work there from Jean-Baptiste in the corner. Got away from the trap, and here come the Red Bulls.
Exposing that far side now. Thomas, heavy touch there. Not going to find its target. So Rolfe is patched up. Comes back on in the 33rd minute. White jersey, no number. Normally number 9, but again, blood staining that jersey, so he and DeFont with the spare jerseys this afternoon. There's Miller. He's got a stiff wind to deal with here. Barely reaches midfield. Plua gets the header on it, but Mendoza will work it to the far side. Now brought down off the chest of Sonis. Apostolopoulos.
That was a great touch
Sure
there from the Greek center back.
Bossy. Oh, look at that footwork by the big man.
It's always a former forward, can't you?
Rudy. Bossy keeps it in play. Gets a cross away, but not enough meat on it. And Castano will.
He was waiting for a whistle, and I think he thought the ball went on himself, so he didn't really do too much with it. But Castano so far hasn't really been tested. One shot
Just
from
one,
McMahon,
yeah,
and that
one
was
big
pretty
save.
much it.
See if Mendoza and the Rhinos have another opportunity here.
This is the guy you want with the ball, Mendoza. Great vision, great passer.
Walls. Forbes. Goes down, no call made.
Bedoya got away with one there.
There is Bedoya now to James. And Walls goes down. Maybe a late call, but finally got it for the Rhinos. John Wolniak can't believe the call as he has a word with the 4th official. Here's a look at him.
Let's see that play again. Forbes goes down. Ball taken away. And A little jersey tug there, I think, from Sonis, what the call was there. So the Rhinos with a free kick in midfield.
It'll be Ringoff to take it. He'll go short to Apostolopoulos. Back to Ringoff. Takes a look, drives one forward, looking for Forbes. It's going to go up and over his head and knocked off of Mendoza. Canardo Forbes, great indoor season. 22 goals, 14 assists. And from my recollection, I remember him with Syracuse absolutely firing some cannons. He has got a lethal shot. If he's given the space, look for him.
He's had some good chances, especially in that Louisville match. Having a little trouble getting the ball on target, but certainly very dangerous is Canardo Forbes. Like, just getting his outdoor legs back is going to be the key for him.
It's going to be quite the transition coming from indoors to the outdoor game.
There's a few Rhinos that are doing that this year.
There's McLaws with some space. Cuts it inside, gets around Rudy. Gets it back. Walls pickpockets him. Forbes. Good touch outside.
He waited to make that touch at the right moment, and there goes Mendoza.
Mendoza comes back to the near side. Dixon, it's behind him. And there goes the Rhinos attack.
Again, that ball was definitely taken by the wind. It's very hard. You've got to keep the ball on the ground in a wind condition like this, because the ball's going to just do some very strange things. And down the field, it's even worse than it is up here in the box.
McLaws, he takes that space, and the second time he's been told to push it back.
It'll be interesting. Watch if the referee calls an illegal throw-in at some point in the game on McLaws, because he's not He's not going back behind his head like he's supposed to with that throw-in.
He's definitely on watch right now.
Yep.
This one's deflected into the arms of Miller. As it's going to be some possession here and slowing the pace down. Brandon Miller, 37th minute, the 20th home opener for the Rochester Rhinos.
Just 3 shots so far in the game, 2 by the Rhinos, 1 by the Red Bulls. Again, not surprising. Most of the game being played in midfield, and both teams having a little bit of trouble, I think, getting used to the conditions today. And of course, it doesn't help when it's 50 degrees and a wind chill of about 40.
It's chilly up here. I can't imagine down in that field with the wind swirling. And we'll see, though. The second half could be a benefactor for the home side.
Certainly could, and I think that's what Bob Lilly is playing for. So good, solid defensive first half. The second half, open things up with the wind at your as an advantage. That could be a booking. There it is.
Yeah. Yep. Sanchez did a good job. Put the ball through Obasi's legs. He didn't care for it. And our first yellow card of the game comes in the 38th minute. And it goes to Obasi for Rochester for taking down Sanchez. Here's a good look at that last play.
And with the number of fouls that Obasi has committed in the first half, really not a difficult call for the referee. Took one for the team there. So now Obasi will need to watch him, especially that, again, most of the play coming down with McLaws on that right side. Wonder if Coach Lilly might make a switch at halftime. Rhinos do not want to go down to 10 men.
He'll go to the near side, the cross, looking for Sanchez. And Bedoya just couldn't get a foot on the shot, looking for that one-timer.
Swing and a miss there from Bedoya.
Here's Bedoya chasing this one down on the far side, 39th minute. To James. Cross, looking for a handball, not going to get it, and cleared away by Apostolopoulos. And the numberless players collide. It is DeFont and Rolfe. Good chuckle there for Mr. Battisti.
Yeah, that was about the easiest call I think Mr. Artis would have to make today. That was a nice little forearm shiver in the back of Colin Rolfe. He's feeling that one. He's had a couple of big bumps in this game. Bam!
Let's not forget, DeFont had his lip busted on the challenge against Rolfe.
Yeah,
Maybe a little payback.
Those two guys are definitely having a battle today.
Looking for Rolfe. Jean-Baptiste gets there first. Rolfe comes away with it, though. Leaves it there. Rudy, shot! Punched away, rebound! Goal! Alex Dixon, Mr. Opportunistic.
What a break for the Rhinos against the run of play, you have to say. And Colin Rolfe will not be on the score sheet with that goal, but that was all Colin Rolfe. Stealing it from Jean-Baptiste, feeding Rudy, And Rudy's shot saved well by Castano. But right there is Alex Dixon for goal number 3 on the season.
What a great bit of work, as you mentioned, and a great shot from Rudy, swerving. It's curling in. Good save from Castano, but then he's not going to find an easier finish than that.
That was not an easy finish though from Dixon. He had to get that on the volley, and he put it right into the corner. And the Rhinos take the 1-0 lead here in the 41st minute.
We'll change it. He won't find a net more wide open than that. How's that?
There you go.
1-0 late goal here in the first half for the Rhinos. It's Dixon from Rudy. And it comes in the 40th minute.
Really the first chance that Dixon's had in this game, and he made the most of it. That's what a good forward will do. He can disappear for 90 minutes and score a goal.
Rolf and DeFont, they're going at it again. This is a classic matchup between two strong players. Rolf gets a harsh talking to.
I think one more foul from Rolf, he's going to go in the book himself because he's already had 3 fouls called on him. But Alex Dixon, last year he may not have put that away. This year he's got his game going. He's the leading scorer for the Rhinos right now with 3 goals on this young season.
DeFont also having a little chat with the official. Seeing Rolf told to cool it just a little bit. As the flare and smoke bomb is slightly cleared behind the goal of Castano.
Boy, it makes you think it's an Italian game.
Yeah, good to see the Stampede behind that goal, the Flower City Stampede, and flags waving and a little smoke as well.
A little smoke never hurt anybody, especially when it's green.
Streamers and everything else. That's a good little supporter section. Hopefully they'll continue to grow throughout the season.
Well, if the Rhinos keep winning, I think a lot of things are going to grow throughout the season.
That's right. 42nd minute. Castano's off the side of his foot in a giveaway here.
Boy, that looks like something I would do in goal.
43rd minute.
That's why I gave the game up and went into the announce booth.
Safe.
Much safer.
Obasi plays with Rolf. Forbes. Back to McMahon. Cuts it around Bedoya.
Let's see
what a ring off.
Let's see what the Red Bulls do here, because they've had most of the play. Now being down 1-0, let's see if their game changes at all.
DeFont heads it. McMahon picks it up. Forbes battles for it. Metzger will get it. But it's picked up again by the Rhinos in midfield. Walls down the far side. Mendoza turns on the Jets. And DeFont, who's been real busy in this first half, comes over to knock it out of play.
He has done very well. He's been involved in most of the play, and of course, he got that bloody lip as part of the action here in the first half.
Far side, still Walls. He'll go all the way back to ring off. 44th minute.
Last 5 minutes of a half, first 5 minutes always very important, and also first 5 minutes after a goal is scored. So Rhinos definitely want to keep their shape here, take a lead in a halftime, and being up with the win in the second half could be very tough for the Red Bulls, but here they come.
Here's Sanchez. And a good slide there from Apostolopoulos to knock away the New York challenge.
You could see he was concentrating the entire way he was running back. He knew exactly what he wanted to do with that tackle, made it just at the right time to avoid fouling.
The timing was absolutely perfect. Nick Laws, Sanchez. And he'll win, no, not a corner kick, but a deep throw-in for New York.
Nice play by Obasi there to save the corner.
Sure was. 44th minute.
That would give them a chance for an in-swinger with the wind if they had gotten a corner there.
Nick Laws looking for some options. Etienne back to McLaws. Tight space here, McLaws still with it, and it does a good job there to win a throw-in.
Red Bulls are going to try to win a corner down here if they can, because again, they could use that a big in-swinger with the wind.
Obasi steps in front, knocks it out of play. Late in the first half, Rhinos 1, Red Bulls 2-0.
Let's see if there's probably about a minute of stoppage time, maybe 2 because of the injuries.
Walls heads it forward. Rolf.
It'll be a
Whips
Rhino.
one to the far
It
side.
should be a Rhino's throw if it goes up, but McMahon will keep it in.
Mendoza, Forbes. The 1-2 doesn't work there. As New York will play it with DeFont.
This bright sun comes out here
Finally.
at Salem Stadium.
For the halftime presentation, the Rochester Soccer Hall of Fame coming up at halftime. And I can't see what that says. Does that say one?
I think it says one.
2 minutes of stoppage time here in the first half.
I was right. How about that?
A little too heavy on the touch from
Ouch.
Forbes.
Forbes goes down in a heap there. It certainly has been physical in this game. The Red Bull 2 players, they're certainly not intimidated by playing here at Salem Stadium. They're going all out.
Good brand of soccer, no doubt. Jean-Baptiste, long ball, late here in the first half. Can't get it to Bedoya, headed away by Ringhoff. Mendoza. Good touch outside, Forbes. And off of DeFont.
May have made a good run there, but his marker went with him, so really not much Forbes could do there.
Apostolopoulos.
About a minute left in stoppage time.
Headed. Plua. Ringhoff up and over the back, and that'll be another knock for the Red Bulls. And a kick coming up here for the visitors as we are approaching the end of half number 1.
It'll be the last chance for the first half here for the visitors from Harrison, New Jersey.
DeFont. James. James, the 22-year-old, a dual citizen of the U.S. and France. Metzger. Sanchez. A good ball, but now it's played just a little behind McLaws. Has to slow down for it. Sanchez.
Let's put everybody behind the ball here to try to stem off this final attack.
Protect that 1-0 lead. Bedoya outside to James. Maybe one more push here. James to Plua, and that is going to do it for him.
He came in with a dislocated right ring finger, and you wonder if it might have been bothering him because he didn't have to make any saves in the first half, but the young rookie Adam Grinwis out of the University of Michigan, we'll see if he can play the victors today here at Salem Stadium.
Second appearance of the season for Grinwis. And Andrew taking a look at the New York side to see if there's any substitutions.
I did not see any substitutions for the Red Bulls or any Rhinos field players.
All right, so here we go with second half action. James to Etienne. Bedoya wins a corner kick early on here. Subs available, by the way, for Rochester. Ugarte, Tosh, Voleski, Dos Santos, Garzi, and Mulgrew. For the Red Bulls, Rafael Diaz, the backup keeper. Akinyode, Zayek, Clay, Castellanos, and Sanchez, Juan Sanchez.
And this is the first corner for the Red Bulls. And it's going to be an in-swinger into the wind.
And no damage there as it's low and easily picked up by Dixon. Turns the Jets on, slows it down. Played there, James picks it up. Plua. Heavy touch there from Sonis, and Obasi and Rochester will take it. They've got the wind at their back now. Is Rudy finding himself all over this field here. As the game has gone on, he's gotten more involved.
He's definitely picked his game up here as the game has gone on. He's have to set up that goal. Here comes the Rhinos again.
Obasi, Mendoza. Mendoza! No swerve on the shot. There's a good build-up and a good run from Obasi, leading to the shot from Mendoza. Looks like Miller's got a heavy ice bag up on his left leg, so might not be the hand. It could be the left leg that's bothering Miller here. He's made his way over to the bench. DeFont headed away by McMahon. Ringhoff clears it up. Metzger is there to pick it up. Etienne. Bedoya, 21-year-old, good moves. Bedoya, the shot off the crossbar and out of play. Wow. Whew.
Bedoya showed his mettle there. What a great series of moves. He's holding his hand in his head. How did he not score there? The youngster out of St. John's University, just 5'6", 130, but boy, what a rocket of a shot. But goalie's best friend, the crossbar, saves the Rhinos, and it's still 1-0. Here's the shot again. Oof. Grinwis was well beaten, but could not beat the crossbar.
There's Dixon. Knocked out of play by Pluwa. Pluwa, the 23-year-old, played 4 years at Seton Hall University. Red Bulls looking to immediately challenge the new keeper for the Rhinos. So 3 keepers on the roster for Bob Lilly's Rochester side. Miller, Grinwis, Sean Murdoch, another guy with a nice bit of experience as well.
Edinburgh, Scotland. He had the shutout in the Rhinos last game, 1-0 win over St. Louis. He is not on the roster today. Going with the youngster Grinwis, who played the Louisville FC match and earned a 1-1 draw there.
Jean-Baptiste back to Castagno.
Let's see what the Red Bulls do going into the wind, if they try to keep the ball on the ground or if they try to play direct.
Mendoza back to McMahon. Bedoya, he's feeling it in this half, isn't he? Good win there. Sonis outside, Sanchez looking for help. Little back heel pass, McLaws with some space. Little chip and knocked out of play. Corner kick coming up. Red Bull coming with some pressure here to start this second half.
And if Coach John Wallenock, he's very animated on the sideline. The former Rhino, of course, played many years with the Red Bulls themselves. A lot of matches, 192 matches in Major League Soccer, 33 goals, 16 assists, and a couple appearances for the U.S. national team as well.
These days go back to the Metro Stars of Major League Soccer, if you remember that team.
Even the Long Island Rough Riders. That's where he got his start. It used to be called the Long Island Iced Tea at one time.
Looks like New York trying to set up for the short corner kick. Etienne and Bedoya, they do it. Come back to McLaws. He'll one-time it into the box. The header, still inside the 6. Obasi goes down. Rolfe comes away with the ball. Good hard sprint there, and Metzger meets him on the challenge.
Well, that was definitely something off the training ground there with the pass up to the overlapping Sean McLaws. Got a good cross in, right into the 6-yard box danger area, but the Rhinos were able to deal with it and hold on to that lead.
Flick on by Rolfe, and again another head injury as Rolfe already suffered from a bloody nose. This time he and, I believe it was
like Etienne.
Sonis?
Maybe Etienne, I believe. Let's see.
Well, both of the players colliding. This time it's the back of Rolfe's head, and I couldn't see the New York player if it was
they're both going
Etienne or if it was, couldn't tell who that was, to be honest with you.
I think it's Etienne who's down. Looks like Rolfe's okay. Or maybe, let's see.
It's Thomas, I believe.
Thomas.
Number 33, James Thomas, a 22-year-old, played at St. John's University. Checking the back of his head. Well, Rolfe has had a day, hasn't he?
Well, he certainly has, but if it was Rolfe whose pressure and steal from Andrew Jean-Baptiste set up the Rhinos' only goal of the match, and they lead it 1-0. It was James Thomas. He is back up.
Head-to-head, both checking the back of their head. It's been a rough game, really. You look at DeFont, busted his lip. Rolfe with the busted nose. There's a good look at it. As it was James and Rolfe off the throw-in from McMahon.
There it is. Let's see what happens. Boom. Yeah, both guys they hit the back of their heads against each other. We'll see.
Now, James has to come off the field because the trainer came out, and he'll make his way over now.
So as soon as the ball goes back in play, the fourth official will probably let both Thomas and Rolfe back onto the field.
Fourth official today, by the way, is Raymond Tan. And they do come back on to join the party.
Rolfe immediately was looking for a through ball there, but never got it. But now he gets the ball.
Here is McMahon. Knocked out of play by James, who's up and at it again. 53rd minute, if you're just tuning in. Dixon with the goal in the 40th minute. His third of the year. Rudy with the assist.
That'll be a throw in for the Red Bulls deep in their corner.
Mendoza plays it back to James.
Mendoza all over the field in his half.
Another player down here for the Red Bulls. This time it is Sonis. Ringoff went up for the header, and Sonis goes down.
You better get the Petr headgear
Yeah.
out there.
John Wolnick is not happy at all. Looks to the fourth official for some condolences as got his arms up in the air.
You don't usually see a coach more animated than Bob Lilly, but
We've met the match.
Wolnick's always a very fiery player, play with his heart in his sleeve. Loves the Red Bulls. He's from Staten Island. They call him the Maradona of Staten Island.
Nice words. Sonis comes off to the side.
Former assistant coach with the Red Bulls, player development coordinator, and coach of the Red Bulls reserve. So not surprising he is in charge of Red Bulls too.
Sonis talking to the head coach as Dixon applies pressure. DeFont has to go all the way back to Castano.
And look, DeFont's got a number now. They must have found another jersey for him, or they watched the one at halftime that he was wearing.
Bedoya heads it back to the middle of the field, ring off. And Sonis battle once again.
Ralph's still going incognito without the number.
Bossy hustles to keep this one in play and all the way down the far side, out of bounds. Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. And don't forget, all USL regular season and playoff games available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. Connect with the USL YouTube channel today. We are at Salem Stadium in Rochester. The home opener, 2015, 20 years of Rhino soccer. It started just a few blocks away from us back in 1996, and here we are today, brand new soccer venue. Well, a second soccer venue, I guess, for the club.
Last year's home opener, the Rhinos beat the Charleston Battery 1-0 on about this, actually 1 year ago today, the last Sunday of April. So see if this scoreline can hold up.
Rhinos off to a great start. Last time they started off this well was back in 2012. They had 6 straight wins. They lost in the semifinals to Charleston that season. Etienne wins the call here, and much to the dismay of the crowd that's worked their way in.
I think Etienne did a little embellishment there maybe, but hey, all's fair in love and soccer, right?
There's the whistle, and the restart coming from Etienne. Into the box, headed on, and Grinwis will take the hop. Adam Grinwis, University of Michigan co-captain. His college days, good long punt downfield. Headed away by James.
All academic Big Ten. His major was Spanish, and it's not surprising. His favorite player, Iker Casillas, the great Spanish keeper from Real Madrid.
Rhinos with a bunch of players warming up now behind the goal. Bob Lilly probably going to wait to that 60-minute mark. Bring on the fresh troops and again test the depth of his 2015 club. Rudy Apostolopoulos did a great job there to shield off Sonis and give Grinwis a chance to even play that ball.
I was just going to say that. You know, great minds think alike, Joe, I tell you. You can tell again the experience there of Apostolopoulos, who, you know, playing all those years in the Greek First Division, you've seen a lot, and it's just something, again, nothing that's going to see on the score sheet, but a great play there.
Good point. Dixon, Rudy, still with it and cleared away off actually the chest of Jean-Baptiste as he bends over to catch his breath. Castano, outside, Nick Laws.
I don't think John Wolnick has sat down this entire match. He's encouraging his team to go forward. He knows they're behind 1-0 here. They got to get something on the board.
38 years old, he could still suit up. Give it a
could.
run.
I bet he could. Wonder if they'll draft him for the Rhinos Hall of Fame game on June 27th. It's going to be here at Salem Stadium, the 20th anniversary. There's going to be a Legends match before the game.
Slots are filling up. Coaches picking their players. Should be a great night As the legends are honored here at Salem Stadium. Here's Grinwis to take the restart. Pushing everyone downfield. A little wind at his back, gets a nice deep one away. Rolf so strong on the challenge. Able to flick that one forward. And cleared out of play by DeFont.
Game hasn't been the prettiest of games. Not a lot of beautiful soccer. Very tough marking, very close marking, and very physical game. Disrupting things a bit, but you take a 3 points or 1 point any way you can get it in this league.
Rhinos need the 3 points to keep up with Richmond, who are 4-0-2 after picking up the win with the Matthew Delicott goal, 1-0 against FC Montreal. Fourth straight shutout for the Kickers.
Yeah, FC Montreal, the only team yet to have a point this season.
Mendoza turns on the Jets and gets to the ball. Plays it back to McMahon. Walls. Dixon trying to square up towards goal. He's got Mendoza on the outside, and they're going to raise the flag.
I saw that one coming, Joe.
A little too late to get it out there. Looking at some other scores from last night, Louisville 2-0 over Tulsa. They're now 2-0-3. OKC lost 2-1 to St. Louis, their first loss of the season. And then how about Arizona United? Scottsdale Stadium, 6,108 fans in attendance, but they fall 2-0 to the Portland Timbers.
That's right, and also don't want to forget the Orange County had a big win over Harrisburg on Friday night. The Sacramento Republic 4-3 this season. Not doing too well, the defending champions so far.
I believe that's only their second loss ever at Bonnie Field. That came to Orange County on Friday. Etienne, he'll go all the way outside. Sanchez beat to the ball by Obasi. Obasi played with Baltimore, made the all-rookie team in the MASL indoor game. 9 goals, 10 assists for Anawa Obasi.
Ring off with a big clearance there, relieving the pressure a bit on the Rhinos' goal. But Red Bulls, again, controlling the play here as much as they did in the first game.
Exactly.
In the second half, they took the game over. But again, still no
penetration.
No penetration, just the one chance for Bedoya where he hit the crossbar earlier in the second half.
And here's Bedoya to Metzger. Switching the run of play.
Haven't seen much from Metzger, the under-23 international today.
Good little move from Sanchez. Tried to spin away, but Walls does a nice job defensively. Dixon settles. Back to Obasi. And this will go out of play. Throwing coming up here for the Rhinos.
We're going to get another substitution for the Red Bulls. Going to be
another Sanchez.
Another Sanchez, yes.
Is it Sanchez for Sanchez?
Juan Sanchez will be coming into the game.
There's a good ball into space. Mendoza pushes it top of the 18. Mendoza shot. Oh, he didn't even put it on frame. He's going to want that one back.
Oh, boy. Oh. Got the outside of his right foot. Just could not bring that ball down, but Mendoza will want that one back.
Oh, will he ever?
Bob Lilly got him off the bench.
He's been rather quiet today.
Bob, the ultimate teacher, telling Johnny what he should have done there.
And there's a look at the replay. Oh.
He tried to put a little too much oomph on that shot. Maybe a placement might have been better, maybe a chip to try to beat the keeper for the Red Bulls, Castano. Mendoza will get the ball back again.
Dixon pressured there by DeFont. James.
Red Bulls close down very quickly. Whenever the Rhinos get the ball, the Red Bulls are right there.
Apostolopoulos and Rolf didn't connect. Rolf ran away. Ball was played to the space he was in.
Rolf saying, come on, guys, give me the ball at my feet. Don't make me run onto it. That's what Alex Dixon's for.
And it looks like he's actually hobbling now, Alex Dixon. Takes a look at the Rhinos bench, and there may be a change coming on for him as well.
Rhinos
Throwing on
have
the far side.
Christian Valesky, who terrorized the Red Bulls the first game around. And we're going to be seeing him come into the match. The MVP of the MLS Combine. He's drafted by the Portland Timbers, but never signed with them. And
first change of the game coming up here for New York. It's Sonis coming out, and Sanchez from the Red Bulls U18 team coming on now. And this is the first change in the 63rd minute, or 64th minute now, I should say. And this is the first change of the game for John Wolniak's side. Valesky, as Andrew mentioned, looks like he is taking off the warm-up gear, and he'll be coming on. 5 substitutions allowed in USL. For those of you just tuning in for the first time or not aware of that little tidbit.
well, people listening in, all the Red Bulls fans all over the New York metro area, welcome you to our broadcast here from Rochester, New York. Upstate New York, not Poughkeepsie.
Hope they're enjoying our coverage. Today's game produced by the one and only John Catalano and his tireless crew. So Valesky getting his final instructions from Bob Lilly.
When he came off the bench against Montreal, within 2 minutes he had 2 goals. So he's a guy who can really strike in a hurry. We'll see if he comes in for Dixon.
Oh, good little hustle there from Obasi just to get the toe poke on it and prevent Etienne from serving one into the box. Here's Etienne. Cuts around one player. Obasi takes him down, and we'll see what happens here.
Obasi already on the booking here. You don't want to go down to 10 men.
Gets a talking to, nothing else. It's going to be Dixon who definitely is coming off, as he came up hobbling after that one challenge just a couple minutes ago on the near side. And this change in the 65th minute. Dixon, the goal scorer, got his 3rd of the season, comes off, and Valesky, the MVP at the 2015 MLS Combine in Bradenton, in beautiful Bradenton, Florida, I should say, comes on. Second change of the game for the Rhinos.
In that combine, Valesky was rated #1 in agility and #2 in speed of all the people in the combine. Wow. This guy can fly, and he is a big, strong player, 6'1", 175 out of SIU Edwardsville, the Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year out of Henderson, Nevada. And he'll go right up top. He'll be that big target forward there.
Into the box, Grinwis through the crowd, scoops it up. We'll see if Valesky can equal Dixon with 3 on the season.
I'm sure Castano remembers Christian Valesky from that first game. He had at least 2 great chances to score, and Castano was up to the challenge and stoned Valesky both times.
66th minute, 1-0 Rhinos lead. As James Thomas, once again, another knock to the top of his head. Referee takes a quick look and says, let's play on. He's gonna leave this one.
Thomas will take the throw in so he doesn't get hit in the head.
Yeah, he's hit enough. Pops one forward right to midfield, ring off. Wins the header. Rudy battles for it. Bedoya and Rudy along the near side. Bedoya, little touch forward for Etienne. McMahon marking him. Walls comes in to help out nicely.
The experience of Pat McMahon. He didn't dive in for the tackle. He knew he had help, so he just waited for the man to make a move, and then Tony Walls, the captain, came in to tackle the ball away.
Metzger, heavy touch there, taken away by Forbes. Looking
There
for
goes
Valesky.
But that's what he can do out of that secondary striker spot. He'll just burst forward and blow by everybody.
Good tackle by Rudy. Here's Valesky. Rolf, he's got Mendoza. Pushes it forward to Mendoza. He's in the 18 again. The shot. Goal! Johnny Mendoza! 2-0 Rochester.
And again, you won't see it on the score sheet, but Christian Valesky stole that ball away, set it up, and Rolf with a beautiful through ball to Mendoza. This time, no mistake from the Rhinos, #11.
For Mendoza, his 2nd of the season. And Rolf picks up the assist, his 1st assist of the season. Well taken goal. Well done there by the Rhinos, who extend their lead now to 2-0.
Rhinos with a 2-0 lead. I always say 2-0 is the most dangerous lead in soccer, but I think the Red Bulls will have to really step things up if they're going to want to get back in this game, because they've not shown that they can really trouble the Rhinos in the back. And now James Thomas once again is, I think he's done for the day.
We're going to have a little stoppage here as Thomas is getting some help coming off. Franklin Castellanos will be coming on, number 77, 24-year-old. Thomas has taken enough. Akinyode will also be coming on, number 93, the 20-year-old. We'll see who these changes are for. I'm sure Thomas definitely is one of them as he walks off to the bench holding the back of his head.
Again, you don't want to take any chances with any kind of head injury. He was laboring for the last couple of minutes. Best just to get him out of there, get in a fresh player.
So New York playing one man down until Akinyode can get on.
Akinyode out of Lagos, Nigeria, played for the Nigerian under-14 national team, graduate of Seton Hall University. He's captain of the Red Bulls under-16 team, 20 years old.
Here's Obasi with a dashing run, and it's finally broken up by Sanchez.
At this point in the game, if I was the Rhinos, which I'm not, but I'd go for the jugular. Try to get a third goal. The Red Bulls are on their heels right now. Put this game away right here in the mid part of the second half.
Obasi clears that one over the far side. Bolu Akinyode coming on now. That's the change for Thomas in the 70th minute to bring New York up to 11 on the field now. Thrown by McLaws. Played back to Jean-Baptiste. We're going to see Duba coming on for Rochester.
And here's a player, if you haven't seen this guy play, he is a beast. Duba has got strength, speed, size, skill, and he can shoot with either foot with power. This is from Cabo Verde, Africa. Tremendous talent. Let's see what he can do.
Replay, Andrew, that we're going to take a look at. A giveaway here taken up. Red Bulls coming forward, and there's the intercepted pass nicely.
And Colin Roth with the ball forward. There it is. Through ball to Mendoza. 2-0. And more subs coming for the Red Bulls.
Sharpen the pencil, my friend. Zayak Castellano waiting to check in.
Zayak started for the Red Bulls in the first game against the Rhinos at Red Bull Arena, another academy player, 17 years of age.
And Rolf went down, his shoe came off on that last challenge. He's hobbling. So we'll see if Duba will be the player coming on for Colin Rolf, who's playing with one shoe right now. He's got the shoe in his hand. I think we've seen a little bit of everything today.
And there goes Valesky. Look out, he's going to go right at the defense here. He'll take on 3-4 guys.
Still has it, still has it. Mendoza, and couldn't get a shot.
Corner.
Not the debut you want to make if you're Akinyode. You get pickpocketed right away by Valesky.
I'll say this, Rhino fans, enjoy Christian Valesky this season. Next year he'll be in Major League Soccer, my prediction.
Bold words.
He is a talent.
Mendoza to take the corner kick on the far side, 72nd minute. Dixon and Mendoza giving Rochester the lead, 2-0.
And that'll be an in-swinging from Mendoza with the win.
Crowd up and on their feet. Headed away. Akinyode, Forbes. And they're going to call him for undercutting Bedoya. Restart for New York. They're going to make the changes now.
Trying to get the referee's attention. There's 3 players itching to get onto the pitch here.
So Castellanos is going to be coming on for Bedoya.
Yeah, what happened to the marker board?
Too many subs. So Bedoya's coming off. Plua is also coming off for Zayak. Okay, that's the New York substitutions. They're up to 4 changes now in the 73rd minute. And Rolf will be coming off for Duba, also in the 73rd minute. That's the third change for the Rhinos. It's a nice round of applause. Good, hard day's work. And Rudy will come off. And Garzi will come on. All these changes in the 73rd minute, leaving both sides with one more to come off the bench. Good round of applause for Rolf and Rudy.
And a good result from Rudy today.
Sure
He had
was.
started the last game for the Rhinos and did very well today.
Crowd cheering Rudy. All right, so 4 changes made by both sides. So Duba, Garzi came in that last exchange along with Castellano and Zayek for New York. 74th minute, 2-0 Rochester. Throw on the far side. Nick Laws.
Yes, you just heard Rocky. That's his full name.
Rocky and I talked before the game. I said, Rock, I'm going with Duba. He goes, I want to go with the full name. I said, Rock, it's your call, buddy. So our PA announcer, Rocky Parada, going with the full one for Duba.
Duba, 6'4", 191. Big guy.
He looks like a handful, doesn't he?
He'll go right up. Him and Valesky together. That's a handful for any defense. So Red Bulls need to keep their shape in the back, even though being down 2-0.
75th minute. Walls clipped up and restart coming here for Rochester. All the way back, it'll be Apostolopoulos to take it. Juan Sanchez called for the foul.
So now there are 2 Sanchez's out there.
Juan and Manolo.
Yeah, I'm actually a bit disappointed with Manolo Sanchez. This guy who's a good player for the Red Bulls, one of their strikers. We haven't really heard much from him at all today. Testament to the Rhinos' back line.
Absolutely. Walls to Garzi.
Michael Garza coming back from a slight injury, kept him out of the games against the Louisville City and St. Louis FC, but he's in there tonight.
Here is Garzi with a touch. Quick back to Obasi. Long ball. No one on the end of it for Rochester as DeFont will let it go all the way back to Castellano.
Garza, very solid player. Makes very few mistakes. Very dependable out on that left side, playing out there right in front of Anua Obasi.
Pressure there from Duba. Forced it back to Castellano. Work the near side. No one there but Pat McMahon for the boys in white. Forbes. Space opening up all over the field here for Mendoza and the Rhinos. Forbes. McMahon.
Whoops.
Forgetful there is Castellanos.
Ball went one way and the player went the other. That's a great step up there from Apostolopoulos because Sanchez could have gotten behind there, but
and he makes it look so effortless. His timing is precise. Does the job just so smooth. DeFont. Playing it back now to Castellanos. Mulgrew will be coming on for Mendoza, it looks like. And that'll be the 5th and final substitution for Rochester. Forbes. Here's Duba. Voleski.
great ball.
The shot just wide of the far post. Johnny Mendoza had a busy day, got the 2nd goal of the game. And he will be coming off now. Timmy Mulgrew, another player on loan from the New England Revolution, in the 77th minute, 5th and final substitution for the Rhinos.
Timmy Mulgrew, graduate of George Mason University, nearly had to give up his soccer career because of a very, very rare disease called vasculitis, which basically takes away its inflammation of the blood vessels caused by severe allergies. And he had a rough time of it as a sophomore, but they found a way to cure it, and he is now with the Revolution and here with the Rhinos.
Good to see him back on the field and healthy and strong once again. Forbes, thanks to the great tackle there of Apostolopoulos, able to keep possession here. Rochester done going to the bench. Obasi intercepts the pass, takes a touch forward, still Obasi. Across the top of the 18, no one there, and cleared away by the Red Bulls defense.
One too many touches for Obasi. If that was indoors, he might have been through, but too many bodies.
Duba, he gets taken down right away, and he's holding his head as well. And we'll have a yellow card issued, second card of the game. First one to the Red Bulls. And it is Jean-Baptiste in the 79th minute who will go in the book.
That was a bad foul. Got him from behind. Duba's a handful.
There's a look at the replay on the challenge.
Oh yeah, right. Foul from behind, no doubt about that. Booking for the Red Bulls captain.
Forbes over the restart. Two-man wall outside the 18 to the right of Castellanos.
I've been seeing this all game. Look for Ringhoff. He's right near that penalty spot, making to make a move toward goal.
Forbes directing some traffic. We'll see if he has got Ringhoff on the radar. There's the whistle. The service. Popped up in the air, and corner kick coming up for the Rhinos, their 5th of the game. And we're in the 80th minute. It'll be from the far side. Canardo Forbes, the 26-year-old Jamaican, with the restart coming up.
Instead of going with the chip ball, he went for a driven ball low and forced the clearance for the corner. Now we'll see what Forbes can do on the corner kick. Last couple times he's got too much air on it. Let's see if he can drive this one across.
Steps in, delivers, header! And it was the big guy in the back, Vasilis Apostolopoulos, I should say, with the header.
We're going to get that right eventually.
Last game of the year.
That was a much better corner there from Canardo Forbes. Drove that ball, and Apostolopoulos just could not get the ball down on frame, but he had a clear header. This is what the Rhinos want. Just keep the ball down in the Red Bulls' end, and they'll take 3 points and be behind Richmond just on goal difference at top of the Eastern Conference.
Etienne, Metzger, switching the run of play to McLaws on the far side.
We'll see the Red Bulls one more time here at Salem Stadium in the last game of the year on September 19th. And we'll see to see how many of these players will still be coming to Rochester at that point.
It'll be a whole new roster.
Could be. Well, we know we won't see Derek Etienne. We know that because he'll be at University of Virginia by that point. So enjoy him today, folks. He's an excellent player, a guy you're going to see in the future, I think, playing in Major League Soccer.
Font gets the header in front of Duba. Etienne, a little touch for Metzger. McMahon reads it well and intercepts it. Mulgrew. Garzi. Good touch. Good idea. Didn't get the pass to the space, but good idea. To quick one touch. Eyes in the back of his head.
Ball right between Valesky and Canardo Forbes. Just,
it would have been perfect.
And go a little further left or a little further right.
Ringhoff steps through hard, knocking Etienne down. Quixote. Metzger. Fresh off Andreas Herzog's U23 team.
You wonder if he might have some leg problem, not legs meaning injury, but
fatigue.
Not have his legs because he just came in and played Wednesday night. So I was surprised. We were expecting to see him in this game. I'm surprised he actually was brought in by the Red Bulls today.
I'd like to thank Gordon Stevenson of the Red Bulls for his help in setting up the game notes and the rosters of players traveling from New York. Thank you very much, Gordon. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage today as Grinwis steals one out of the air.
I just want to thank Greg Stanton from the Rochester Rhinos.
Without
him,
absolutely.
we would not have our stats as well. Rhinos will be in action next Saturday afternoon, 4 p.m. kickoff from Stade Saputo Turf Field against the Montreal Impact. And by the way, can't believe we're saying this, but we will. We want to wish the Montreal Impact a lot of luck this week. They are going to be doing something nobody in the world would ever have thought, playing for the CONCACAF Champions League title.
Believe it? They're representing all of us.
They're representing Major League Soccer.
Best of luck.
Against Club America, the legendary Club America. They tied 1-1 at the Estadio Azteca, and they had the lead for almost the entire match.
That is a huge result. With the altitude, the environment, the way it is at the Azteca, what a result for Montreal. Joey Saputo's got to be extremely happy. So happy that he would buy a team in Italy.
Certainly. I said on Soccer is a Kick in the Grass, every Monday night you can hear it at WYSL1040.com. So Dick Howard, who's here from Toronto today, Montreal need to score a goal, and they did. And defensively, though, but they will be without Evan Bush, their goalkeeper, who was suspended for the final.
And we'll come back to this one here as Garzi will go into the book. Second booking for the Rhinos. 84th minute, Mike Garzi for his tackle on Sanchez, actually the block on Sanchez.
That's called taking one for the team. You don't want to let anybody get through any chance on goal here being up 2-0. Be a little money out of his pocket, but again, 3 points is the important thing here. So,
referee Brandon Artist done a good job. He's been in charge of this one right from the start.
Not an easy match to referee either, with the physicalness and the chippiness of the game.
Lewis didn't take too kindly to the little challenge there in the air coming from Sanchez, Manolo Sanchez that is. But Grinwis has looked really strong on balls served into the box. Not afraid to work his way through the traffic.
Absolutely. And you know, they say, Joe, this is a game of inches. That ball goes into the net from Bedoya early in the second half instead of off the crossbar. It's a totally different match.
Good point.
But other than that, though, it's really been nothing from the Red Bulls. And again, been a bit surprising they haven't put on more pressure, being down 2-0 with just 5 minutes to go. But you know what? 2-0 is still the most dangerous lead in soccer. Goal here, and it's still anybody's game.
Castellanos stood up there by Garzi. Gets taken down. Referee says play on. McMahon helping out. Knocks it down the near sideline. Voleski. DeFont able to shoulder that one out of play.
And Garzi on that play, he almost took a swipe with his leg. Thank goodness he did, because he is on a booking. So he held up very smartly there. And Rhinos still with 11 players. And you got to give the Rhinos back line a lot of credit. They played very well today. They haven't really given the Red Bulls, it's not just the Red Bulls haven't had chances. The Rhinos have stopped them defensively.
This is reminiscent of some of those powerhouse teams in the 90s. Demons and Schweitzers and Hardys. These guys are no-nonsense, tough tacklers, good soccer players, and I think Bob Lilly's really put together a very competent defense.
And well experienced too. These guys know what they're doing out there. Even the rookie Ringhoff's 26 years old. He's played with 1860 Munich in their youth program. So it's really the goalies that are probably the least experienced. Even though Brandon Miller's with the team 4 years, Grinwis a rookie. Of course, Murdoch.
He's been around.
He's been around, definitely.
But to have a back line like that in front of you, very, very calming and relaxing, I'm sure, for the keepers. As you look at Rochester, only 2 goals against so far in 5, almost 6 games played now. Richmond right there as well with 3 goals against, and I believe Charleston, no, it's Louisville, with 3 against as well.
Away goes Duba.
DeFont marking him. Gets the toe poke in, and he's taken down by Duba in the 87th minute. Rhinos looking to go to 4-0-2.
How about the Eastern Conference, Joe? Top 4 teams, all undefeated. Richmond, Rochester, Charleston, and Louisville. By the way, Louisville formerly Orlando City's USL team. So
not surprised to see them still.
They're not. They're not really an expansion. They're a relocated team. They're still got a lot of great players.
That is such a quality organization in Orlando, and now down to Louisville as well. Is Kaká having he's having his moments in MLS in their first season.
Orlando playing Toronto FC later on this evening.
Hope for one there, right? And don't forget, Red Bulls fans, your first team in action 5 p.m. against the Galaxy over on ESPN2. Andrew's going to rush home and get that one on. Nice big plate of pasta.
Well, I got to go to the Rhinos postgame celebration with Mr. Zero, Dick Howard.
There you go. Up at the Genesee Brew House, a great location for post-game festivities.
Absolutely.
Corner kick here for New York. Etienne to take it. They're pushing everybody forward now.
Well, if Red Bulls have any chance to steal a point here, they need a goal right now on the set piece.
Metzger is coming over for the short corner, and we'll see if they do go with it.
The Rhinos with everybody back in defense. They're like Chelsea.
Metzger.
My boys.
Castellanos. Good ball. Up in the air, punched away by Grinwis as he had to run into the wall of Obasi. But again, he's not afraid to come out, throw his body right in that traffic and win those balls.
He's not afraid to mix it up. You know, Big Ten soccer is kind of like Big Ten football. Very physical, very athletic. And Grinwis certainly does well.
Good bit of work here. Mick Laws into the box, and Ringhoff, calm and cool, breaks it up. Metzger. Etienne. Swerving ball into the box. Back in front. Oh, he couldn't put it home. It was wide open in front for Sanchez, and he just couldn't get a head on it.
It was a mistake by Obasi. That ball was going to go out of play. He didn't realize the runner was behind him. Huge let-off for the Rhinos.
Akinyote, a driven ball into the box. Ringhoff with the header. We're in the 89th minute, approaching the 90-minute mark. Here's Metzger. His touch is taken away by McMahon. Duba. Forbes. Back to Duba. Gets tripped up and the feet get tangled up. No call made. Duba goes down.
I've seen that a couple times from Duba where the call might not be made against him because of maybe his size or whatever, but
didn't win that call there at all.
I think the referee knew he was trying to draw a foul, but sometimes you get those calls.
He's up holding his right wrist after that tumble. As Walls and Etienne go for a little tussle, and Etienne's going to go in the book. In the 90th minute.
Wall's shirt probably one size larger after that nice little tug by Etienne.
Walls just stood him up, held his ground, won the ball, and Etienne had to come in and go for the jersey tug as we look at it in the replay. And we'll have 4 minutes of stoppage time.
Walls is saying, come on. That's an obvious call, Mr. Ref.
Man.
Duba is definitely having problems with that wrist. Hopefully he didn't break a bone in that when he fell down.
Still holding it.
Fortunately, if he gets it wrapped up, you can play with a broken wrist or a hurt wrist.
Dangerous ball given up. Good ball. Valesky had Forbes open. Etienne or Jean-Baptiste just got the toe on it.
He saved a goal there.
Forbes called for the foul, taking down McLaws.
And let's see if he gets booked. Nope.
Metzger cuts it back. McLaws spinning, looking, no one there. Garzi, the only one to come up with the ball now. Valesky looking for that through ball, doesn't get it. Possession instead.
Good smart play from Garzi. Now they'll go forward.
DeFont heads it. Picked up again by Rochester. Garzi. Good breakup. Gets it to Walls.
That's where you learn to see the game out. When you're up 2-0 in stoppage time, just hold on to the ball, take the 3 points. And
it's one thing to watch this team, the team on YouTube, but it's another to see them in person. As Duba coming in. Duba. Shot. Off the post and on a play.
Oh.
Duba.
The Cape Verdean finds the upright. If the crossbar is not the goalie's best friend, it's the upright.
It's the second best thing, right?
Again, he's got power with either foot. He certainly showed it there.
Duba steps in front of DeFont. Forbes trying to get in behind the defense, and Castellano gets there first.
Nice ball from Mulgrew, seeing the vision in the field there, seeing Forbes with the run.
Sanchez. Far side throw in for New York. Back to Metzger. Now DeFont. We're in stoppage time. It's 2-0. The Rhinos lead.
About 2 minutes of stoppage time remaining.
Ringhoff to Walls. Spins away, and Duba looking for the ball at his feet. Goes outside instead.
That's okay. Just, again, get it down on the Red Bulls' end. Waste some time. Nothing wrong with that. As long as the ball is 80, 90, 100 yards from your goal, you're doing fine.
The 20-year-old Castellanos. Castellano gets it forward. Voleski, the Jets are on. Puts it across, front of the goal. Cleared away by DeFont.
DeFont with a huge clearance there.
Corner kick, 6th one of the game coming up for the Rhinos if they can get it in.
Probably nearly went out of the stadium.
With the wind and the tough bounce off the concrete.
It's called taking no chances.
Right, Forbes, another offering. He'll go short to Obasi. Obasi, low ball into the box. Metzger will clear it one time. Sanchez. Castellanos. Forbes backtracking and wins it for the Rhinos, and that will bring this one to a close. The Rhinos' home opener for 2015 results in a 2-0 victory over New York. Goals from Dixon in the 40th minute, Mendoza in the 68th. Rochester still undefeated at 4-0-2, 14 points, while the Red Bulls